You want to achieve success unlike anyone else? You're going to have to ask questions no one else asks. And they're going to sound pretty stupid. If you want an irregular outcome, if you want to be richer than everyone else, if you want to be freer than everyone else, you want to have more time than everyone else, that is irregular. How do you expect to get that with regular questions? You don't. You have to ask irregular questions that comes up with an irregular solution for an irregular problem. It seems pretty obvious. It's all like irregular, yeah. It's all along the same path. So with these questions is to try and solve this problem. You can ask a question like, oh, how do I become a millionaire? You probably type that into YouTube, but then you go, what would I do if I had to be rich in 5 years' time? Okay, well, first step that comes to mind is you need as much time as possible in those 5 years. So you can't make 5 years longer, but you can make every day inside those 5 years last longer. So that means don't waste your time on things that don't matter. Boom. That could be very valuable. Like, okay, so this is how I'm going to do it. You might go, well, I'm going to need to learn a skill. Boom. You want to sell your skill as a service. I'm going to need to learn these skills. I'm going to need to bring people on to save me time. Because if I only have 5 years to do it, so in 5 years I have to be successful. If in 5 years you have to be successful, you want like 10 people working for you. So it's like 50 years of your own work, you know? So it's like, okay, well, this is what I need to do. I need to put everything else that's not important on the 80-20 principle. Say you have school, but you can't drop out of school. Let's say, hypothetical. What would you do? Well, I need to put school on the 80-20 principle, Pareto's law. If it's not necessary to get most of the way there to whatever standard you've set for yourself, then then don't bother with it. And then, even then, you could go and get a VA, so a virtual assistant, to do some work for you. Or you could use ChatGPT, or you could do some other things to make it easy so you could focus on this business. And that's when you ask these crazy questions, these stupid questions, you get results or you get answers to things. You go, wait a minute, that's not a stupid thing. So you're thinking, ah, well, these are only hypothetical questions. But you don't get hypothetical answers. You get answers that work, that will work. You can ask yourself these questions right now. Think of a question, go, okay, how do I be, if I had to make 1,000 in a business in a year's time, what would I do? Boom, that's what I do. You have your business idea. It's like, okay, what's profitable right now? I'd sell a gym. I'd sell a coaching program. Well, first of all, I need to get in absolutely shredded shape. So I'm boom, 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 shredded shape. Phone's gone out the window again. The distractions are gone. So you can be more focused on it. And you ask these questions, go, wait a minute. I don't have to have a gun to my head to do this. I can just do it right now. If someone put a gun to my head and like, this is the hypothetical question, you had to be successful in a year. It's like, wait a minute. I don't have to have that gun to my head to do that success. So when you ask these hypothetical questions, you get real answers. Now, what if you don't? If you just go along doing whatever, yeah, you might be able to achieve some success. If you're able to go, okay, how do I make money online? Oh, well, I'll start, that looks pretty cool, investing. And yeah, you can do that and go invest, and you'll be a really good investor and do that. What if you ask, like, what would I do if I had to be the best investor in 10 years? Or what would I do if I had to make this amount of money? You probably wouldn't put 100 quid into the S&P 500 and next year you have 110 quid. Congratulations, you can afford a McDonald's meal. You'd go, okay, I take that 100 quid, I get a course. Yeah, you'd get a course, the S&Me 500. That's Alex Ramos's quote. And then you'd learn, and then you'd be able to work for a little while to get more money to invest again. So that's what you do. Sorry, the camera's off there. So you need to ask these, even doing the same thing, you might go, in everything you do, you have to ask these weird questions. The investing, how do I do it better? How can I do it? Because standard consensus would go, well, if you want to make 10% every year, invest in the S&P, and then some people are like, invest in crypto, or whatever. But if you think out yourself and come up with your answers and ask these questions for yourself, you'll get much better results. Key personality who asks these questions like Tim Ferriss, and he's got all these questions, and it's great because then you come up with your own answer, and then you're more likely to follow this answer. If I told you This is why I'm not telling you what the answer is. If I told you, here's how to be successful in a year's time, you're going to be like, who cares? Like, it could be the best advice. Maybe it's not. I'm not successful. It hasn't been a year though. And you might go, oh, I don't really care. But what if you came up with it? You came up with it. Your brain. Your brain's very powerful. You just don't give it enough fuel. You're not conscious enough to think about these things. Your brain's very powerful. You just haven't utilized it enough. That's something I want you to take away. In all my videos, in like the who, careful who you let shape you, the who owns your thoughts, all these things, it's taking your brain away from you. Your brain's very powerful. So these questions are just a tool to getting more power out of your brain, more output for your brain. They're a way of putting something in where you get more out. And it's just that simple. Like, you'll come up with answers and you'll go, wait a minute, that's a good solution. That's possible. And then you can ask crazier questions and it's like, okay, why can't I achieve, so if you have a goal set out for 10 years time and you go, why can't I achieve that in 6 months? And you go, well, I 6 months to learn to set up a 360, 100k copywriting business a month, let's say. You go, why can't I set that up? Well, I don't know enough about copywriting. Well, then you need to know more about copywriting. And you get the answers. So instead of being 3 years down the line, so okay, what do I need to bring my company from 10 to 50? In year one, when you start out, day one, when you start out, you know the answers. Or at least you think you know the answers. And at least you have something to work towards. That's like one of the questions. And like, you might find an answer and go, this is why I can't do it. And that might be a reasonable answer. But a lot of the time you won't get that answer. It's like, why can't I be a billionaire tomorrow? Well, I don't have any service to sell for a billion. I don't. That's reasonable. That's an answer. But someone like Steve Jobs who asked, why can't I get rid of the stylus and the keyboard for my new iPhone? And people are like, you can't. I was like, why not? Well, there was no answer, so he got rid of it. Apple's a $3 trillion company now. Unreasonable questions. These stupid questions that seem stupid, seem a little bit crazy, like you've got a few screws loose. Ask himself. And sometimes this comes from talking aloud, journaling. When I was sitting down, I was like, it was something that bothered me, and I went, I don't like these entrepreneurs. Technically, I am an entrepreneur, but I was like, I don't like these people who are like, I don't know what to do. You know, if I had to be successful, this is how. If I had to be successful in 6 months' time, this is what I do. And I go, wait a minute, I'll do that now. So these journaling things are an amazing tool for getting more success out of yourself. They won't make you a millionaire tomorrow, but they'll be able to give you some insight into making a million. A question could be anything about your business. What's stopping me from being successful? What's this? What if it's my fault? What if this? What if it changed? What if, here's one you've heard a lot is, what if anything you did was guaranteed to be successful? What would you do? Well, then you know what you want to do. If what you did was guaranteed to be successful, what would you do? For me, I'd start a business. Okay, so that's what I'm doing now. But for someone like my brother, he might want to go be an athlete. He might want to go do some music. He's different to me. And that's where you go and you can be yourself and learn something about you. Because you don't want to wake up tomorrow and go, who the fuck's life, or 10 years from now and go, whose life am I living? Like, imagine 10 years from now, you could be a millionaire, but you go, this is not where I want to be my life. Because in 10 years' time, you might be happy living, working hard, selling a service, working 10 hours a week, making a 4-hour work week, make enough money to get by in a year, in a month, with your family, with your kids, spending time with them. That might be your dream. Or you might take the advice and do that. Your dream's ready to work 40 hours a week, every week, on a project you love, on a business you love, making crazy money, not for the money maybe, but for the job, the business. That's what I do. And then another thing is, what would you do if it was guaranteed to fail? If whatever you must choose a project, you can't go, well, if they're all failing, you can't do it. But what would you do if it had to fail? It will fail. I'd still start a business because I want to start a business. I want to run a business. Now you might go, why would I start a business if it's not going to make me money? And you might go, oh, I don't really want a business. I want the money. And then you can go, well, what do I want? It's like, what would I do? Okay, well, I'd actually be, a musician. It'd be fun. It'd be fun for a few years. And then go, well, I can actually make money off that if I do this. And that's going to give you a really good answer. So it's all about learning about you and what you want. There's no point in living a life that you don't want to have. So asking stupid questions, to wrap it up, they're going to get you results that seem irregular because they're irregular questions. They're going to get you answers. Hypothetical questions will get you real answers. You get solutions to problems. You'll get an idea of where to go. And then they'll also make sure that you actually do what you want to do. Because there's no point in waking up tomorrow or waking up in 10 years and not enjoying what you do. Everyone else will go, oh, you're so amazing, it's great work. But if you don't really want what you have, then why have you just done it? And then these questions will get you through that. So ask yourself, after this now, actionable step. Sit down and think to yourself, what if I had to be successful? What if I was guaranteed to succeed? What if it was guaranteed to fail? And think about these and think about them every day and go, is this me? Is this what I want? Am I happy doing this? And will I be happy in 10 years doing this? Maybe 10 years, will I be happy? That's maybe too much to answer. But ask yourself these questions every day, because the answers you come upon will be so many times more valuable than any answer anyone will ever give you. And I hope that last line sticks to you. Find your own answers, because it's your own life. Don't take my answers. Just take the stuff I give you to help create your own. And then you'll wake up in the success that you want. The dream that you have for your life, not my life that you're living. That's what the goal is. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Watch more stuff if you want more value.